They're everywhere. Just everywhere. What have I done to deserve this? Vermin! My mill is infested with giant lice! Didn't you see them on your way here? They have taken over the whole mill. I don't dare even set foot on my own property. Really? Exactly how many have you killed? What? Only 4? That's not enough. There are dozens of the creatures crawling around in my house alone. And that was at sunrise. I don't even want to think about how many are swarming around there now. Please, you look like a brave sort. One who doesn't scare easily. Would you take on this matter? I have no one else I can turn to. Oh, it's you. Have you been able to do something about the lice? Oh, if you knew how welcome your news is. You have really helped me a lot. I just wish I knew what attracted these creatures. Show me. That looks very strange. It's not mine. Could it be something like a lure for them? But who would do something like that? An excellent idea. Could you perhaps ask around among the merchants in Nataret? Aurelia the alchemist might know what it is.
Welcome to my stall. What can Aurelia the alchemist do for you? Let me see. Fascinating. You have discovered a conspicuously rare liquid from the Combe Desert. That's a good question, for this secretion has a truly peculiar characteristic. It attracts tomb lice. The only question now is, who would have a need to attract these animals? Who would have any interest in luring this vermin? If you are searching for answers, then go look up Crooked Otto behind the Temple of Preos. He has a taste for obscure things like that. That goes without saying. Would you be interested in anything else, perhaps?
Do you want to come and take a look at my newest wares? A fresh load of goods just in. Come and buy before everything is sold out. Let me see. Yes, that did come from my collection. I recognized it immediately. The best quality. I'll take an oath on it. This miracle drug is used when you want to play a dirty trick on your neighbor for revenge. If you sprinkle some of this in his cellar, it will soon be overrun with lice. Of course, but I can't think of the name right now. Strange. Very possible. 2 ducats can sometimes work wonders. Ah! My memory is suddenly coming back. A few days ago, a young girl bought this substance from me. Peasant clothing, brown hair, freckles. I don't really remember any more than that. Would you like anything else? Crooked Otto has everything your heart desires. Just look around.
You're coming from town. Did you find out anything about the vial? Don't keep me in suspense. What is it? Oh, no. But whoever would do anything like that? Dark hair and freckles. Are you sure? Maybe you misheard. By all that's holy, that description fits my daughter. Oh, Barissa, what have you done? We had a very bad argument about nothing. That girl has got such a temper, I tell you. I just don't know what to do with her. How right you are. My wife should speak to her. She is better at handling delicate situations like this. I thank you most sincerely for your help. Here, please accept this ring as a gift. It was meant for Barissa, but in view of the circumstances, I'd rather give it to you. I wish you health and good fortune on your travels. Ha! As a punishment, Barissa can clean up all the dead lice. Just you wait until I get a hold of you, girl.
What's the... Oh, do you have to creep up on me like that? For a minute I thought. Well, graves have been defiled. The coffins were dug up and opened, and the corpses that had not already disappeared had bite marks on them, as if something had fed on them. No, I think not. I have suspected something evil afoot there for some time now. Do you see the crypt there? That is the final resting place of a noble family who lived around the time Nadaret was built. I repeatedly have thought I was hearing sounds coming from inside that crypt recently, but when I stopped to listen, there was nothing. I tell you, something terrible is lurking there. The 12th Forbidden, no. I may be a servant of Boron, but I do not have the necessary abilities required to confront things like that. I thought you would be more suitable for this task. Oh, yes. The head of the family at the time ordered that the crypt be secured with traps and numerous locks, just to make sure that their last resting place would never be disturbed. You will need this key to get in. It has been passed on from Boron Diant to Boron Diant since time immemorial. You will need it to get further into the crypt. Unfortunately, that's all I know. You're back. Did you find out what kind of evil things are happening in the crypt? Corpse eaters? On our Boron's field? As small and isolated as it is? Thank you for taking this on.
Help! Help! Undead! It's horrible! They're in the village! We need help! I don't know. I was just going about my business, as I usually do, and suddenly, all of a sudden, a kind of... this thing comes out of the ground. Just a thing. A boulder, a rock, I don't know. Suddenly, these living skeletons came crawling out of the earth. I just ran away. Please, you look as if you might have a bit of experience with things like that. The village is in danger. Please help us. Calm down. That's a good one. I had to fear for my life. I only want to get away from here. Please, help the people in the village. I'll raise the alarm with the bailiffs. The 12 gods be with you.
Thank you. Now that was a close call, as they say. Overcoming those sinister apparitions has surely averted greater harm. Of course, but I'm still glad that these fiends have been banned from this world. Only the gods can know that. That figure just rose up out of the ground, and the undead with it. Fortunately, the people immediately fled into their homes. I've had my sneaking suspicions for some time now. Brookbeard and his magic research. It can only be his ungodly goings-on that caused these unspeakable events. Be that as it may, it's time we confronted that master of magic. And if my suspicions prove true, put an end to his evil doing once and for all. His contempt for the divine order must stop. May Boron help us if you are wrong. I have the feeling that we haven't seen the last of this business yet. That magic tinkerer is more than stubborn. He doesn't see beyond his own interests. Do that. I will retire to the tranquility of my shrine, where I will pray for the souls of the dead, and attempt to persuade Boron to bless the desecrated ground again. May Boron be with you.
Oh, a visitor. I have very little time. What do you want? Did you come to get some advice from me?
Oh, are those farming folk rehearsing a superstition-fueled uprising again? I'm used to that. No reason for undue excitement. With one of my experiments, you say? No, that would be most... No. It's completely out of the question. Unless... Well, you know about my failed experiment. Well, perhaps... Oh, excuse me for a moment. So here I am, back again. Regrettably, my supposition has proved to be correct. There can no longer be any doubt. There is a rift in the sphere. The events in the village are a direct consequence of it. Well, I'll locate the rift and seal it with an appropriate spell. Meanwhile, you should use my artifact to follow the traces of the escaped sphere energy and rectify any effect they may have had. Excellent. Take the artifact and follow the traces of the sphere's energies. Banish all the undead and destroy the mysterious stone menhirs. Then, return to me here. One more request. Try to do it as inconspicuously as possible. It won't salvage my already ruined reputation, but perhaps it will help to prevent any additional upheaval. I know you will hardly believe it, but I found the rift and was able to seal it. I can't tell you how pleased I am that we have at least been able to eliminate the last remnants of my failed experiment. Please, take these boots as a token of my appreciation. Who is this, then?
Master! I could not stop him. He insisted on speaking with you.
And what brings a servant of Born to my modest dwelling? Please speak.
As if you didn't already know, Master Brookbeard. You are a troublemaker, a danger to this region, and you use methods which trample all over the sanctification of Boron.
That may be. I have always carried out my service to science faithfully, in the spirit of Hasind. In the case of the 12, there are also contradictions, Your Reverence.
I don't agree, Master. Didn't Hacinda also command us not to use dangerous knowledge? And what about the effects of your deeds? Have you ever given a single thought to that?
Of course I deliberated on the risks of my actions. Danger did exist, but only I would have been affected by it. This is why I allowed no one apart from myself into my laboratory. No, I calculated everything carefully. The stars appeared to be in a favorable aspect. With what I now know, perhaps too favorable. Something has changed. But not because of any deed of mine, no. Something from the other side has been searching for a way into the third sphere.
Do you see? Your entire experiment was a mistake.
There are things between heaven and Ethra that should be left well alone.
Hacinda shall judge you, however, not me.
For my part, I only want one thing. No more imprudent experiments with magic. To demand this of me is no longer necessary. The book which served as the basis for my work vanished during the first incident with the Domain of Fire. Yes, you can crow over me in your triumph. And now leave me, please.
It's time for a review of the situation. Let's refresh our memories about the events to date. Who wants to give a quick summary?
Yeah. I don't have to refresh anything. And even if I talk myself blue in the beard, that has nothing to do with refreshment. Right now, a pale ale would be more.
If I were to even try to describe the events my way, I'd have to count on Shorty constantly butting in from left field. No, I'll pass up the honor.
I wasn't able to follow the events from the beginning. Someone else should take charge of the matter.
We've all contributed our share to the story, so let's put it together jointly. But we should lower our voices.
Well, then, it all started with the rivalry between Mora and me. Dajan's henchmen took advantage of it to persuade Mora to steal the crown. And when I got wind of it, naturally I tried to beat her to it.
Instead, you were forced to help us regain it. But the only woman who could possibly have carried out the theft had been attacked by pirates on the Great River.
You weren't the only ones who were investigating the pirates. Count Groen had sent Gerlin, Ferris, and me to find out why Baron Dajin couldn't get a handle on the pirate problem.
Really? You described it differently at first. You wanted to find out something together.
Our investigations caught Coldstone's interest, who then set a trap for Gerlin and then for us later. In doing so, Coldstone murdered Ferris.
But we don't have to repeat it all again now. Like how we caught the corrupt tollkeepers. And the awful matter with Ardo and the elves, right?
No, Fulgrim. That would only distract from the essentials. The loss of the crown threatens the peace in the Midden Realm. And now we finally know who has a vested interest in things being in that state.
By the shadow of Alvaran, that man's aims will not be concealed from us much longer. And the same applies to this Coldstone fellow, whose agenda seems to be at least partially connected to the Barons.
Scallywag. Instead of talking about connecting here, we should be dissecting the problem by pressing the Harbor Master, so that we can find the secret entrance to the castle that Mistress Pirate Fist told us about.
Right you are. I think that everyone is up to date on the current status now, so that we can go on from here. Where were we? Oh yes, we should let old Greyhair know when we're ready.
What about it? Do you want me to bring you to the spot?
Are you sure you're ready? There's no turning back until we've cleared this matter up once and for all.
Good, then let's get going. I heard that the Harbour Master is just on his way in that direction. This is where Orbit was seen tramping into the woods with some henchmen. But where exactly?
It's all right, Greyhair. I think he's on his way over here already, our busy Harbour Master.
If you persist in moving like snails, we'll be late. Then you can look forward to your first dressing down. I can't believe how these creatures make your knees go weak, in spite of those smoke torches. I hope they teach you to have some backbone. Otherwise, I guess I'll have to come back for you again soon.
Let's move. We have to follow them to the secret passage. And you, Greyhair, go back to the docks. Wait there for Gerlin. You've already helped us a lot.
By the thunderboxes! It's you again. What is this? Not really. I suspected right from the start that you were up to no good. You're very persistent, seeing you're even still alive. At least we got one of you. So my trap at the harbor was of some use after all.
No, I'd put it like this. You're just a tough customer in Fex's good graces. You set the trap for yourself in the end, for what happened there comes back to you, esteemed Harbor Master.
Did you really believe you could snoop around my harbor and get away with it? If you did, then you're even dumber than I thought.
Stop! In the name of the Emperor, put down your weapons and surrender.
I have bad news for you. It seems that neither you nor the Emperor has a thing to say here. Recruits, Coldstone's orders are clear. This entrance must remain secret. Make mincemeat out of them.
So we found the entrance to the secret passage through the old codger Orbit. We would find out soon enough why people were brought there and what exactly was waiting for us at the end of it. My axe and I were ready for anything.
Ah,
fresh meat. Welcome, recruits. Where's the harbor master? He's normally so keen to collect his little fee at once. So, what does he want to look at? Oh well, he'll tell us in due course. The main thing is that you're here. Get your tabards from that chest up there.
Hey, look at that, Sergeant. That fairhead guy's doublet is covered in blood.
So it is. You look as though you've just come from battle. What have you been doing? So, there are problems with those beasts again, I'd hoped that was over for now. Well, good. I'm glad you made it. Like I said, find yourselves a couple of tabards that fit you out of the chests there, and go out into the gorge. Guard Gerald is already waiting for you.
Some folks would say that we're ungrateful, but I say we were too tolerant. The army that we have assembled here today marks the end of our tolerance.
That's right! No more compromises! Down with the rotten aristocracy!
The turning point is close at hand, my friends. We will put a stop to that scheming dog Groen. And to all those wretches that defied the common good by aiding and abetting his rise to power. United under one flag, we will usher in a new age of virtue and wealth in the Kingdom of Kosh.
Hooray!
There will be those who will try to thwart us. And my message to them is this. We will show you no mercy on the battlefield.
Down with Groen! Long live Dajan!
Thank you, my friends. We march into battle resolute in the knowledge that our enemies are no match for us, neither in spirit nor in battle.
Look at that, even more new recruits. Only just made it in time, huh? We're about to set off. Of course you do. That's why we're all here. Well, it's going to be a little while before we set off. I'll take you to the quartermaster first. He'll assign you to your quarters. Follow me. I've got a couple of new recruits here.
All right, keep bringing them to me. So many at once? We'll soon be splitting at the seams. Oh well, we'll squeeze you in somewhere. Right, let's have a look at you first of all. I'd best send you to Sergeant Hale's strike. His unit still has a few spaces in it. Just go through here and over the bridge. You'll find him over there between the tents. Go on, march!
I haven't seen you here in camp before. New arrivals? I am. What do you want from me? So you're the reinforcements. Good. I was wondering when you'd eventually get here. That tent to your left is empty. You can move in there. You'll also find a chest in there where you can put your belongings. Good. Then I have a couple more tips for you. You can improve your melee skills with Sir Erend of Olming over there. On the other side of the gorge, you'll find Gertrude Keen. She'll teach you archery. You know the billet officer already, of course. As well as our unit, Sergeant Stormcrag's troops are also camped here. They also have a blacksmith and a surgeon. The way to the stores is behind me, over the terrace. But you have no business there at the moment. You'll make the quartermaster's acquaintance later. First, you'll be going to see Sir Erend and Bowmistress Keen. They run the camp on behalf of the Baron and will test your abilities.
Rondra be with you. You're new recruits, I assume? I'm Sir Erend of Olming. So you really do have some manners. A refreshing change from all these hangdogs here. It's a shame that we must fight for our noble cause with such blackguards by our sides. So, you want me to evaluate your fighting skills? Very good. But, before we begin, I have another small task for you. Go to the smith in Sergeant Stormcrag's unit and fetch me my new sword. It should be ready by now. She's over there on the other side of the gorge near the caves. You'll find her.
Is it really necessary to interrupt me again? If you want Ingrasha to forge something for you, you must let Ingrasha work in peace occasionally. But all right, you didn't hear it from me. Well, what can I do for you? Oh, yes, he nagged me about that for days. It's in the chest there. Help yourselves.
Now then, do you have my sword? Ah, truly a magnificent article. I've never understood the Baron's aversion to the Dwarven race. Personal rivalries should be immaterial when it comes to the welfare of the Empire. Well, you've obviously learned obedience. Now let's see if you also know how to fight. Are you prepared to submit yourself to a trial in the arena? Enough! Kudos to you. Your fighting skills are truly impressive. But beware of being overconfident. That has caused many a great warrior's downfall. Right, I'll give you my evaluation to take to Sergeant Hailstrike. If you ever want to improve your skills, come back and see me. I'm sure there's still a thing or two I can teach you.
What do you want? Indeed I am. Are you new to this camp? Is that so? He seems to think I've got nothing better to do. I have an idea. You'll get your test, but you'll make yourself useful in the process. You're going harpy hunting. Those abominations were already here when we set up our camp. I've managed to get several of them already, and I've destroyed a few nests. But it was too much trouble to run after them all. If any are left, they will just keep building new nests. I've discovered a few more over by the rock face opposite. Their screeching gets on my nerves. Just eliminate them. I don't care how you do it. Afterwards, you'll get your piece of paper for Hailstrike. No more screeching. You've actually managed it. It seems as though you might actually be useful. Here's your letter for the sergeant. Well, you've proved your usefulness. Come and see me if there's anything you want to learn about handling a bow or a crossbow.
Yes? Let's see. Errand is satisfied. Good. Gertrude writes that you've proved yourselves useful. Very good. It seems you've really impressed them. Well, it looks as though you might be very useful. Here, go to the camp and give this letter to the quartermaster there. It contains instructions on arming and equipping you.
Yes? Let's see. All right. Come through to the back with me and I'll sort out your equipment.
There they are. Give them short shrift.
Sergeant Hailstrike, what is the meaning of this? These recruits said...
These recruits are spies. They were trying to sneak into the camp. We've just found the harbor master and the others you killed. It's time to pay, you wretched spies!
Hey, who's there? Guests? Here? That's Forgive me, kind sirs. Guests to the banquet are not permitted to enter his lordship's storerooms. It would be an honor to escort your lordships back to the feasting hall. If you have any special wishes with regard to food or drink, I will ensure that they do not go unfulfilled. As you wish, kind sirs. Wait a moment! Ardo of Boarstock? Why, it's you! From head to toe! But you aren't on the Baron's guest list. I would have noticed.
By Badua Spear, Bruin? Bruin Wendell. I don't believe it. It's been such a long time. You were a loyal servant, and I have missed you dearly. I see you have come up in the world since then.
Well, you might say that. The castle is beautiful, the banquets are rousing, and my master isn't exactly tight-fisted. But nothing can compare to the time I spent in your service. Well, aside from that incident with the ghost.
Yes, we've had our fair share of ghost tales at Oxblood. Unfortunately, we don't have time to trade stories about the past, old boy. What I am about to tell you is for your ears only. Do you understand?
Your lordship, I swear by my life, and all that I hold dear, I will not speak a word of what you are about to tell me. Now, say what you have to say.
Good, I'll be brief. Baron Dagen has assembled a secret army in the gorge behind the castle. He plans to overthrow Count Groen in Furdock with their aid.
He plans to do what? That's terrible! Oh my, I feel dizzy. My master has betrayed the Count and the Empire. If I hadn't heard it from your mouth, then...
Then we would never have heard about it either. What you told Browen is most interesting. Unfortunately, you just signed his death sentence.
And once we've taken care of him, we'll escort you to the Baron. He doesn't particularly care for spies, and the fact that you are responsible for the death of his servant will not endear you any further.
I am Palatine Ardo of Boarstock, and I insist that you grant us an audience with the Baron and guarantee the safety of this servant. Immediately.
We take orders from one man and one man only. Our orders are to eliminate any confidants and deliver all spies to his lordship. Then you leave us no other choice. We will dispatch you all to Boron's halls.
You want... what? But that's... I feel so... oh... That was a bit too much for me. Thank you for saving me. They actually wanted to kill us in the name of the Baron. For now, at least. To think I fainted. I must be getting old. And you, are you another of Master Boarstock's friends? Yes, she's here. The Baron is holding this little gathering in her honor. It will be the first time that he has appeared with her in public. The man is practically obsessed with her.
Obsessed? That knave. I'll teach him a lesson. Have you spoken with Mora? Is she all right?
Spoken with her? Forgive me, Master, but no. I would never dream of doing such a thing.
Bruin, can you tell us where she is? We have to speak with her. This is a matter of the utmost importance.
I'm sorry, but I don't have the slightest idea where her chambers are located. All I know is that she will be at the Baron's side at the banquet today.
I have an idea. Bruin, take us to this banquet, but let's avoid any further trouble with guests, guards, or other servants. But first we have to get rid of these tabards. I'm sick of wearing them and I despise what they represent. We certainly don't need them for what I have in mind.
I'm sure I can manage that, your lordship. I'll soon find a safe place to stash them. And I'll find somewhere to put those guards as well. But first, let me take you to the feasting hall.
Good, after you. But please, stop calling me your lordship. You know how I hate those empty phrases. After you, Bruin. Is this fellow on the guest list as well?
Not exactly. That was the Honorable Regismund of Coldstone. He's been residing here at the castle as the Baron's guest for some time now. Along with his entourage, of course. He usually avoids festivities such as this.
Coldstone killed my friend Ferris Lynxeye. He saw in her nothing but an inferior opponent, and he snuffed out her life without the slightest warning. Believe me, respect and honor are utterly foreign to this man.
Not to mention his attempt to have me assassinated. I have no doubt that Coldstone was behind it. And soon I will stand face to face with my foe, and when that time comes, I will test his honor.
Do you mean to say that Master Coldstone is a party to this conspiracy? This whole story just gets worse and worse. What have I got myself into?
Don't lose heart now. Everything will turn out fine in the end. I would prefer to be introduced as Ardo of Boarstock and entourage, rather than be recognized by someone at the banquet. Just this once, could you introduce me as his lordship and... All right, Bruin?
Oh, yes. As you wish. I will go on ahead and take up my position as herald. The feasting hall is just off to the left. May Praeos bless you and your companions with the courage of the righteous.
Just a moment. Do you know who else is on the guest list?
Not all of them, unfortunately, but I did recognize two of the guests who arrived earlier. Lady Mina of the Mountain and Archmage Recorium Montagonus. I will see you in the feasting hall.
Let's give good old Bruin a moment. This might be our best opportunity to get close to Mora. As long as we are mingling with the other guests, these scoundrels can't touch us. That is a possibility. But Bruin himself said that Coldstone is not particularly fond of festivities. And thanks to us, he still has a bone or two to pick with his liegemen. Yes and no. If we can stir up the guests somehow, Baron Dagen will have to show himself in order to lighten their mood. And I think I have an idea how to do it. The lady that Bruin mentioned before, Mina of the Mountain, she is a terrible gossip. She hardly ever misses a party. I'm sure she can provide us with all the ammunition we need to stir things up here. As my liegeman, you will have to behave, of course. I doubt that the assembled nobility have any idea what is actually going on here, and we want things to stay that way. And remember, absolutely no fighting. I hope so. Come on, let's try our luck, shall we?
I presume that no introductions are necessary, your lordship?
No, my dear Lady of the Mountain. Mina, I believe?
So you do remember. We've met before. At a banquet in the Northern Marches, where, I might add, both the host and his guests arrived punctually.
I'm not so sure about that. But please, let me introduce my companion to you.
Please, feel free. All right then, just this once. Who would you like to know about? Countess Malgora del Incendio. This is the first time that I've met her. Cleavage aside, I haven't seen much of her at all, to be honest. But I find her attire most distasteful. She claims her gown was handmade for her by the master tailor Marcusi himself. The poor man must have lost all control of his scissors. A woman of her standing, presenting herself like that, is just not right. And her hair. My ancestress, Leonore, would turn over in her grave if she could see this. Isn't that right, Ardo?
If you say so, Lady of the Mountain.
All right then, just this once. Who would you like to know about? One has to feel sorry for Eno of Vardok, mustn't one? It's such a shame that his rather attractive master, Orsino of Falconhurst, has not accompanied him. But we shouldn't make jokes about the poor man. He makes life hard enough for himself as it is. I think he was knighted more out of charity than anything else. The House of Vardok earns most of its income from the manufacturing of sauerkraut. One has to know that to understand them, but one might expect a little more self-control at a banquet. All right then, just this once. Who would you like to know about? Ah, yes. That is the Sheikh of Tarubal. His name sounds so romantic. Said El Farouk Ben Ha. It's such a shame that he only has eyes for Countess Malgora del Incendio. I would make a much better marriage. After all, the Of the Mountain family is the only noble house in the entire Middle Realm that can trace its roots back to the old empire. Apart from the House of Boarstock, of course. Mina El Farouk Ben Ha. Oh, it sounds so enchanting, doesn't it? But on the other hand, they have such different customs. I would have to share him with the other women in his harem. What do you think, Ardo?
Forgive me. It would not be right for me to pass judgment on such matters, dear Mina. My interest in the Sheik is less romantic.
All right then, Just this once. Who would you like to know about? But of course I know Squire Truman. He loves making gifts and is particularly fond of his wine. He's a true son of Raja. But he won't be able to keep up his facade for much longer. The man has debts in every barony in the Kosh. Greed is such an unfortunate trait. Don't you agree, Yardo?
Quite so, my Lady of the Mountain.
All right then, just this once. Who would you like to know about? Recorium Antagonus is Dean of the Magicians' Academy in Festum. But he always seems to be traveling nowadays. They say he's searching for evidence of a lizard conspiracy. What a load of claptrap! As if those reptilian creatures were capable of such a thing. Well, I suppose that's just how old people are. You had better not listen to him too long, or you'll start watching for signs and noting how often people about you use the letter S. Yes? Please, feel free. Oh, the Baron knows how much I enjoy his banquets, and that I am a very capable hostess. I consider it my duty to be well informed at all times. Oh, this and that. They say he has a new lover. Nobody knows her or has ever seen her. Not even his servants know the truth. Yes, that's why he no longer travels to Gareth and spends all his time here instead. He's got a girl stashed away here somewhere, that old charmer. She's probably not our class, if the truth be known. I doubt that he will have the gall to appear with her at his side tonight. Please, feel free. Well, I must admit, none of the guests are really my type. But then they do say mingling with people of another class does broaden one's horizons. But of course, my family and I are rather more conservative. Please, feel free. Unfortunately, Countess Malgora's dress seems to be the main attraction tonight. What do you think? Could I wear something like that, Ardo?
I really couldn't say, dear Lady of the Mountain. But give my regards to your uncle, that old fox